right, we are live, and look at us. We're back in the old sanctioned area, Max, and you are here, by the way. Welcome back into the room.
Back, everybody.
How you feeling? You feeling good and ready?
I feel strong. I feel energetic. I'm just ready to come back and help this team any way I can, Clark. You know,
Perfect.
Every cliche in the book. That's what I'm all about. Here to help the team.
Well, it's good to have you back. I know that a few people will be happy to see you back. Not everybody, but a few people.
A few.
Katie Fleury's checking in. She said she's relaxing at home after being in the hospital all night and day. Katie, hoping you're all right.
Yeah.
Connor Anderson just had an amazing walk. He's checking in from Yorkton. Donna Berger's checking in. One of our bigger fans, Donna Berger. Thank you. Yeah, make sure you guys are smashing those comments all night long, hitting that like and share button on Facebook, and let's get into it. You guys are the squad and the fanalists, so thank you for coming in and joining us tonight. Danielle Roberts says, "What's cracking, fellas? Hey, we're just starting a show. No big deal. How are you doing, Danielle?" Yeah, send us some comments all night long. Katie Fleur saying nice shoes. Thank you. Yes. Oh, it's James from Offside.
So
Danielle Roberts always comments, and it's actually James from Offside Hockey Talk. It's our buddy James.
We've figured out the mystery. Good
James,
stuff.
I was listening to your talk with Paul Hendrick all afternoon, and it was awesome. So great job on that.
Fantastic.
Always good to hear from that guy, even if you just had an interview with him a few days before. It's always good to hear from that guy.
Always good to
He's
hear
unreal.
his voice.
Who am I talking to? Jordan, if you can go to the wide shot really quick. We have this wonderful Blue Jays jersey and hat on set today. We're going to tease this because we have a big thing coming up, Max, that we'll probably talk about a little bit later on in the show.
Did we make the team?
We have not made the team. No, we're garbage.
That's what it was.
No, we're garbage. Okay. So stay tuned for that. There might be a chance that you could get your hands on a jersey and a hat such as this in the near future. So stay tuned because we have an announcement coming up very soon for that.
That's
and we
a
have
good tease right there.
some partners that we want to thank as well.
So real quick question, though, going back to the shoe attire.
Yeah.
So do you and Darren DuPont go to the same book club every Thursday night? I mean, Tuesday nights you're busy, obviously, but Thursday nights, is that flip-flop night at the DuPont household?
No.
Monroe?
So
what's the deal there?
Here's what happened. I took them out of the closet, and once it's springtime and you take the sandals out, they don't go away and you wear them all the time. So it's sandal season for me. So that's just where I'm at.
Even with
sandal season.
Even with the snow?
Yeah, I wore them through
this last week.
I took it out when it got nice. Snowed again. Kept the sandals. It's sandal season, so it doesn't change.
All right, I'll go with you on that.
It's just
dedication.
it's like Lay's. Once you pop, you just can't stop. I don't even think that's Lay's, is it?
That's a free ad right there. No free ads.
Is it Pringles or is that Lay's?
It's one of the two.
Just can't have just one. That's
can't
Lay's.
have just one. Yeah, that's the one where Mark Messier pops back the chip, right? Yeah.
Bet you can't have just one, and he's like, and then he gets all mad. That's a good one. It definitely Pringles though. Once you pop,
so 3 minutes in, we're already completely off the rails. Fantastic.
What show is this?
I don't know.
Let me get the script going, and then we'll get back onto it. Let's give our friends from Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions a big shout out. Again, we're back in our old setup in the bunker of the Rod Peterson
we moved back
studio.
Upstairs. Mom and Dad
not
okay.
quite, but we don't have the little figurines. I always suck at pointing on this thing. There were some Roxanne and Darnell figurines, so instead I'm wearing them tonight. We got the Roxanne and Darnell figurines here. So shout out to them. If you need any help with your business getting it set up or knowing what you need or how to get it, they can help your business run smoothly and efficiently. Rockstar.com for more information. Great people over there doing big things. And you can even get flamingos, apparently.
Flamingos.
And I want a flamingo.
You got to get one shipped.
I told Roxanne and Darnell, give us a flamingo and we'll put it on the set. I want a flamingo.
We got to help the feng shui of the studio, yeah.
As always, ask us anything. I think we have all our stuff into the show, right? Ask us anything throughout the night. Send in those comments. We will be reading them all night long. And if you have any questions, topics that you want us to talk about, please feel free to bring it up. Things that you want to add to the conversation, send them in. And you guys can be the stars of the show tonight as well. So let's do it. Max, give us the breakdown of tonight's show.
Well, before I get into that, I'm just going to say, you know what? The people out there, they're going to want us to put a solid effort out, Clark. Otherwise, could end up like Yankee Stadium Friday night.
Yeah.
A little bit of baseball tossing.
Oh, baby.
Hopefully that didn't hurt the audio.
No, we'll be okay.
Camera, so we're good.
Yeah, you didn't break
Anyways, we'll get into that maybe in the end of the top of the order. The old Bronx Bombers, not exactly. They're just bombing right now. They're not Bronx bombing. Bombers, they're bombing.
Good.
But anyways, episode 29. And Clark, does it feel illustrious in here? Well,
it's a little warm.
It's about to. I'll just say that. We welcome in recently inducted CFL Hall of Famer.
Canadian Football Hall of Famer.
Canadian Football Hall of Famer. We got to get it right.
Just to be specific.
100%. Canadian Football Hall of Famer Nick Lewis to the program and talk all things fame and glory. And also some business as he launches his new career that will hopefully lead to some economic fame. We've got the top of the order featuring some pretty intriguing topics. Did you catch the fights Saturday night, Clark?
I saw a highlight which lasted not very long.
Yeah.
Of that.
They were something.
That was it.
There was a canvas painted with Ben Askren's face, that's for sure.
I saw. Can I just cut you off really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
I saw a video. It was on TikTok because I'm big on TikTok now.
Oh yeah.
In terms of me
How
liking
many followers
it.
do you have?
Almost 5,800. I'm getting there. I'm almost
have the
at
exact
6K.
amount in your head. Don't lie.
It's 57 something. It updates all the time. I have no idea. People are unfollowing me all the time too. It's crazy. But there is a video of a guy who printed off fake backstage all access passes for him and his 3 buddies.
Yeah.
They got in. And he has videos of him going and seeing Jake Paul behind the scenes in the locker room. He has a video of him with Logan Paul. Saw Justin Bieber. He was like 5 feet away from Justin Bieber. Like, I was like, that's how easy it is.
Okay. I don't know what it is.
Is that the new SquadCast endeavor? We got to get fake behind the scene passes and go in there?
I tell you what, but the conspiracy theorist in me, there's just something in me that says, Triller might have set that up for
the fake setup.
Like, because how many views did that get? Probably like 10 million
Probably.
from a bunch of people. Like, oh, I could do that. I know Photoshop, right?
Yeah,
like
you're probably right.
I don't know.
That's a great
like
point.
I said, the conspiracy theorist in me. It is what it is. But speaking of popping content,
Yeah.
we got to crack the seal on some pizza pop talk, Clark.
Okay.
We got to make time for a debate. It's got to be oven baked, man, even when you're running late. The Jays are in action, and it's not been a great start. Hopefully, some boys get back off the IL soon to inject a little more heart.
Ooh.
Thanks
That
for
was a good
checking.
one.
That was a good one. I know. I finished strong. Start slow.
You don't
finish strong.
often have good ones that I say, ooh, good one. That was a
know.
good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Leafs
good
don't
job.
have many good ones either that we say good ones.
No,
either.
you're getting a
Thanks
little defensive.
for checking in with us. For
Getting a little defensive,
little
Matt.
defensive there, a little defensive. Thanks for checking in with us for a Hall of Fame edition. We are incredibly excited to attempt to entertain you tonight, and that, my friend, is our mission.
There we go. We're going to hit up the top of the order now. Tonight, brought to you by Hoop Life Basketball is the top of the order tonight.
Hell yeah.
The first one out of the gates is going to be Aaron Donald and Max. I'm going to let you kind of take this one away, but basically what happened was last week, this man here was sued for kicking a guy in the face and beating him up pretty bad.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, wow, I wouldn't want to get in a tumble with Aaron Donald. That doesn't sound like a smart plan whatsoever. Turns out nobody actually did. So, Max, can you kind of take that one away and kind of explain what happened?
Man, this one hit close to home. Obviously, massive LA Rams fan. And again, obviously a little inherent bias, but I just look at Aaron Donald and I say, there's no way this man did this. And obviously, there's been some things from NFL players, NHL players, CFL players, MLB players, any other sport in the world. There's been some questionable conduct from members within the Players Association. But I just look at my guy AD. I'm like, 3-time defensive player in the year. What benefit does this have for him to go out getting in scraps with civilians at 3:00 in the morning in Pittsburgh, right? The guy's busy training. You see the Bleacher Report videos. The guy's out there just getting more jacked, if it's even possible. But when you look at AD and you look at how this entire situation unfolded, I just look at it and I'm like, I feel bad for the guy. We saw the picture. It wasn't good. But how do you just get up and then you heard from a buddy say, hey, man, AD was here. Wait, AD was here. He must have done it. Without consulting or considering the fact there's any sort of evidence. And there was a surveillance tape that was released very, very quickly after the accusation and charge of assault came down that quickly turned this guy's claims into an absolute. I don't even have the words for it.
Yeah,
Do you have it for me? It was not good.
When I saw the footage, the security cam footage, I was like, this Aaron Donald just saved this guy's life.
That's the thing. He helped him.
He saved his life.
He went from D-line to O-line, and he was helping him. He was pushing guys away.
There was 3 guys that I saw kicking this guy all over his body, and Aaron Donald bull rushes them, pushes them off, and says, go away. And then he gets yanked out.
Shout out to that guy, though, before he got in any more trouble.
Yes.
Shout out
the
to
guy who yanked Aaron Donald out.
Yeah, the guy who yanked AD out of there. Good call.
Definitely a good call. But, Aaron Donald basically broke up the whole thing. So, honestly, like, Medal of Honor to him. Like, great job, Aaron
Instead
Donald.
of a charge of assault from the guy. And you know what? The apology came out. We won't bash the guy too much more than he already has been.
Yeah.
Maybe a bad joke there. Either way. But yeah, when it comes to AD, obviously he had nothing to do with this incident other than just trying to help a guy out. And you know what? It's unfortunate to see that again, accusations and finger pointing before the sides of all sides of the story come out. As we know, there's 3 sides to it all. Right. But hey, you know what? My man AD is cleared, and it's good to see that there was video evidence behind this one to really exonerate him of all charges.
Chad Isaacs checking in. What's up, Chad? We're just chatting about stuff. Dylan Fournier says the guy who broke into the Jake Paul fight is Eric on YouTube. I'm assuming that's pronounced Eric, like Eric almost, but gotcha. He does it at a lot of events, apparently.
Interesting. A YouTuber breaking into the fight, headlining a YouTuber. I wonder if there's something, okay.
Weird. Connor Anderson, I think I said he was checking in from Yorkton. Darren Slade's checking in. Max, good to see you in the studio again.
Thank you, Darren.
Tip of the cap for tuning in, and your chat was a hard act to follow. That's James from Offside Hockey Talk.
Oh, good stuff.
About the Paul Hendrick chat.
Yep.
But we're going to get to our next
last
topic.
One?
Adam Schultz?
Yeah.
It's off the screen. I can't see it anymore.
Okay.
He was giving Max credit for something. I don't know. James Harden is out indefinitely. And Max, there just seems to be a curse on these Nets. Now, they go out and they get every good player under the sun. LaMarcus Aldridge comes there. He retired. Blake Griffin comes there. I haven't heard a whole lot about him since. There's LaMarcus Aldridge. He decides to retire. He's been playing for a long, long time. And he came to the Nets in hopes to kind of fill in a role. And I guess he's just decided to retire. His health isn't what he thought it was.
Kind of a semi-serious heart condition that really gave him a scare from what we understand.
So that's unfortunate. Now, James Harden, if we want to go back to him, he's out indefinitely. Do we know what it even is yet?
Something to do with his hamstring quad, something to do with his leg that's going to keep him out of action for at least indefinitely.
Load management until the playoffs.
Pretty much.
And Kevin Durant, I know he's not been healthy. Kyrie Irving hasn't been healthy. So something to keep an eye out for NBA
in the water
fans.
In Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah, something's going on with the Nets. And, everyone was kind of saying it was almost unfair what they were doing with their roster. Maybe this is karma. Who knows?
The boys from Hoop Life will be happy.
TBS says it's a hamstring strain. So there you go. That's producer Alan with the fill-in the back there.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Alan. The Canucks beat the Maple Leafs, and they're playing again tonight. We had to bring it up, right?
How much did that hurt to say?
It was so. I texted Max
on a scale of 1 to 3 to 2. Overtime.
2. So I texted Max before the game. It was over the weekend, and I basically said if they lose this game, it's going to be on par with the David Ayers game. And, of course, that was the narrative afterwards. Twitter was exploding. And I basically said, I texted you. I'm like, I'm not looking. I'm turning Twitter off. I'm not going on Twitter tonight.
Mental health check.
I'm just taking a break from this one because I don't need to read it. I don't need to see the chirps. I'm done. I muted a specific someone. I don't know if you're watching tonight, specific someone, but I muted your messages and I didn't want to hear them. So I'll just say it. Patrick Janix, I muted you. I don't know if he's watching tonight or not, but it was all in good fun in the end of the day. But you know what?
Was it though? Come on, Clark.
For Patrick, for blocking him?
No, for you. Was it all in good fun? How did you feel?
No, I felt terrible. I watched the game, and it was one of those really frustrating games where they outchanced the Canucks the whole time. Mm-hmm. They outplayed most of the time. They were out energizing them most of the game. They had everything going for them except for scoring. And it just wasn't working. And Bo Horvat comes out and has a couple of great goals. Great job for the Canucks. Then there's the Edler hit, of course, that everyone wants to talk about. Alex Edler's not a historically dirty player.
No, he's not.
So this was at the end of a 2.5-minute shift. He was trying to get off the ice.
After they've been off for a month.
After he's been off for a month. He's trying to get off the ice, skating towards his own bench. It was a reactionary play. He stuck his knee out. Yes, dirty. Do I hate Alex Edler for it? No. Zach Hyman will be okay. It's an MCL strain. He's going to be out for a couple weeks at least. I would say just keep him out until the playoffs, honestly.
Just back right in time for playoffs.
He can come and skate with the team. He's not on LTIR or whatever. It's not weird. Just give him lots of time. He'll be okay. But he is a heart and soul type of guy. But they got Nick Foligno coming in. That gives Nick Foligno more of a spotlight and a chance to get into the team and all that stuff. So there's a silver lining to it all. And no, I don't hate Alex Edler for that. It happened. It sucks, but it is what it is. They need to figure out some goaltending stuff, but that'll come with some more time. David Riddick gets the start tonight, which I think it's underway. So Dylan Fournier says, can you talk about how the Canucks fans got mad at Nylander for celebrating? His woo was such a big selly for his 100th goal. So that's the thing is I saw the headlines. I'm like, seriously, guys? What do you want him to do? Not celebrate his 100th goal of his career?
Canucks fans getting mad about another player celebrating a milestone?
Yeah.
No.
And then okay, no. They lost the game. So do you now what? Do you want them to just give up basically? Anyways, I thought that was stupid. The whole chirping Nylander for his celebration was just stupid. And like, come on, guys. Like, there's bigger things we need to be worried about than that.
Like the fact that your team just got back off of a very, very tough stretch. Enjoy that you won the game, guys. Don't worry about a guy celebrating a milestone in his career, because guess what? When Canucks players achieve milestones,
They do stuff too.
they're not terribly understated in their celebrations either. Look at Pavel Bure.
Yeah. Chad Isaac's checking in. Yeah, you went to TikTok. My boys beat the Celtics last night. So Chad's saying I didn't go on Twitter. I went to TikTok and said I didn't go on TikTok live after that game, Chad. So there's that.
You broke your streak.
I did. Flames. The Calgary Flames are trying to make a push, Max. There's the Flames there. They've been winning a few games lately. The Canadian, now they lost to the Senators last night, but the Canadians haven't been pulling their weight. They've lost 2 in a row too. Now it does say the Flames have lost 2 in a row, but they had won 3, I believe, in a row. So there's still an outside chance. They have 2 fewer games remaining than the Canadians. They're 6 points down. But do Flames fans still have something to hold on to, or is this just a false hope at this point?
I'm trying to look up the season series record between the Calgary Flames and Ottawa Senators right now. And I think it's incredibly relevant to look at, because when you look at the Calgary Flames season, especially in the position that they're at right now, 6 points down to the Canadians. Canadians have 2 games in hand, 3 games in hand. I think it's 2.
2.
Another Central Division team has 3 in hand on my Predators, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
But this season for the Flames could honestly solely come down to how they've competed against the worst team in the division. I want to say they're like 3-6 or 2-7.
Yeah, they're not good against the Sens for some reason.
The Senators have been their kryptonite all year long, and it's amazing to me how some teams can get up for games and others not. And I think it was kind of funny. We saw the empty net goal obviously last night. I think it was Connor Brown. Is he still on his massive tear?
I think it ended, but he's still got a point streak going though. I think
either way, the guy's been playing incredible hockey. But Matthew Tkachuk just trying to break out of the zone, tripping, falling, and then trying to get the puck away, and just goes right to Connor Brown. So it's just kind of the microcosm of how the Flames have played the Senators this year, and it's just been tough to watch. And for Flames fans, like I said, if you look at that season series, it's a big contributing factor to why you guys aren't in a playoff spot right now. And I think that's where you got to look in the mirror. It's tough. You got to win the games in front of you, especially against teams that are lesser. And we all know, Flames fans, that you guys have probably said some things about Ottawa earlier in the year, and now you're having to eat your breakfast a little bit with a full spoon. I got COVID brain still.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Maybe we'll save this topic, I was going to say question, for later, but Gregory Lee, Alan's brother, checking in, and we got dancing Nick Lewis coming in the room right now. He's grooving as he comes into the room.
Fantastic.
If the Flames don't make the playoffs, how likely is it for Johnny Hockey to get traded in the summer? Now, that's a question that's been debated for years about Johnny Gaudreau.
He was supposed to go to Philly, and then Boston.
That's what I'm saying. So I would say this summer is more likely than ever that it actually happens, and especially if Daryl Sutter's there long term. Yeah. I think he's going to want to put his own little stamp on this team. Not little, big stamp. It is a Sutter, and he has a certain way of playing. And I think that, looking back at his Kings teams, he had a way of playing. He had a certain type of player that he liked. Now, not that you can't use a guy like Johnny Gaudreau, who's a 90-point player in a good year. Yeah. I'm sure you could use a guy like that, but we'll see. It's going to be an interesting summer, and it's Brad Treliving's job is on the line too. Let's not forget that.
100%.
He's been there for long enough, and he's made his big moves. So if stuff doesn't work out for him, it's going to be a big summer for him. It's kind of a do or die summer. So if he's going to make a big splash, Johnny Gaudreau could be part of that. Yeah. George Springer and Teoscar Hernandez are coming back this weekend for the Blue Jays. We will get more into that later in our Bluebird block following our interview with Nick Lewis coming up in just a few minutes. But that's a big boost for the Jays, who have some inconsistencies of the bat. And Max, again, we're going to get back into that in the Bluebird block later. Sure. So we'll kind of skim over that for now. But if you guys have any questions about the Blue Jays, send them in and we'll get to them later in the show. Finally, Jake Paul. Triller. There, look at him.
Fights on Saturday?
I got my, I'll tell you what.
All right,
we'll talk to Nick Lewis about Jake Paul in a second here. So Jake Paul comes out and beats Ben Askren in what, like 10 seconds?
It was a $1.58, but we got to help Ben Askren out here. Nobody else did on Saturday.
Yeah, so Ben Askren goes down, he gets up, the ref's like, "You're done," and he's like, "I'm not done." And then that's what I heard. That could have just been Ben Askren covering his tracks, but Jake Paul was pretty pumped, and basically the narrative on Twitter now is fight a real fighter. And I'm curious if Well, first, Ben Askren's just walking all the way to the bank right now because he made, what, 500 grand?
600K. 600K payday to bump.
I called out a boxer when I was younger.
You called out a boxer? Did it work?
I turned it down.
Oh, he turned it down.
There you go.
Okay, well,
right.
oh, man, Nick Lewis is dropping all the hints, all the teasers. All right, we're coming in with Nick Lewis in a minute. So that was the top of the order, brought to you by our friends over at Hoop Life Basketball. Head over and download their app on your app store today. It's easy to use, it's easy to download, and you can check out their entire basketball training program in your hand with Hoop Life Basketball. Plus, the promo code SQUAD10. Buy some merch, buy some camps, buy some sessions, 10% off everything with SQUAD10.
Good people over there.
Great people, doing great stuff. And I'm still teasing. They have a big announcement coming.
Massive announcement.
We can't announce it yet, but they have an announcement coming.
Nope,
Hoop Life.
But it's huge.
Now, this is the last one, and Nick, you might have something to weigh in on this as well. The Vigor fan vote brought to you by our friends over at Vigor Lifestyles. Big shout out to Vigor Lifestyles today. Go check out some of their big news. They just launched a new product line in their VLC category, which is, I don't know if we can talk. I'm sure we can. Cannabis.
We're the late show.
It's legal.
It's legal here.
They just launched a new product line for their cannabis organization, their cannabis section of their organization is what I'm trying to say. So that's all big news, and it's going really well so far from everything I've heard. Shout out to David and to Jared for that, because that's a big endeavor, and they've been working on it for a really long time. So the topic of today, which I don't know if this has something to do with that or why we timed it up this way, but
May have been
pizza
inspired
pops.
by our good friend Rod Peterson.
Well, no, but I'm just saying that Vigor Lifestyles is VLC is the sponsor of this segment.
Oh, okay.
And it's
Well,
about
yeah,
pizza
no,
pops. maybe goes hand in hand.
There's a good correlation there. It's a good segue.
But a couple days ago on the Rod Peterson show, pizza pops came into the forefront. We've been talking about it ever since. So we put up the poll. I'm going to bring it up here on our Twitter. And we got like a lot of votes on this compared to a lot of our votes, Max. So clearly people are passionate about pizza pops.
Passionate about pizza pops.
You can't knock the pizza pops when there's this many votes on a thing. On one of our polls, there was 182 votes in like 3 hours.
That's easily our highest, I'd say.
Well, no, we had one that was like 300 or 400 the one time, but typically our votes for these things get like 60, 75, 80, maybe 100 votes. This had 182 in like less time. So, okay, this is the question. Since the Rod Peterson show blew up the pizza pops debate in terms of what's the best pizza pop flavor, that's what we had on our show the other day. We want to know, how do you eat? How do you cook your pizza pops?
How do you prep your pops?
How do you prep your pops? Now, this one was microwave, oven baked, deep fried, which Rod said his favorite was deep fried.
Oh, okay.
And then somebody even said air fried, but we just said other methods.
Other methods, yeah.
And microwaves, 70% of the vote is a microwave. Just the quick couple minutes, flip them over, minute or so.
Is that what you voted for?
I voted for microwave because that's the only way I've ever really eaten them. I haven't ever done the oven baked, and I've never deep fried, and I've never used an air fryer.
Hold on, we're about to have this debate, and you've never really had an oven baked.
Right, so I voted for this is how I eat them.
Oh man, okay.
I think that was the majority of the votes.
All right, I feel very
Now,
good about my chances in this.
So I do the 2 minutes, poke them in the hole, poke holes in them after you flip them, and then 1 more minute. It comes out perfect. They don't splatter all over the place. It's great. You said you're a little bougie with your pizza pops. You said that you put them in the oven for 18 minutes.
15 to 18.
15, okay.
Depending on the temperature. You got
Sure.
375 to 400. Like I
Right.
said, this is a process. This is a science. This is like building your franchise in NHL 21, as we've discussed.
Takes some
But
time.
I don't know. I gave the analogy that pizza pops
Are supposed to pop.
in the microwave.
Yeah.
Again, right? Going back to the oven
It's
baked.
like a war scene in there.
So it's like Saving Private Ryan. I don't
Yeah.
know if we're going to get issues copyright-wise for that, but we'll talk about that later.
Jackson Seal, now he's my nephew. I
Yes.
taught him how to cook a pizza pop when he was 4. And he's been doing it the same way ever since. He says, I prep my pops the way Clark has. Grew up watching it my whole life.
Prep my pops, man. Okay,
Prep my pops.
So we better be...
Now, my sister, Taryn, that's my sister there, right below
Yeah.
Jackson, says, I microwave them and then I open them up and slice them like a pizza. That's a little crazy. I've never seen you do that, Taryn, but that's a little blasphemous to me.
Well, didn't I tell you about
They're
the slice?
folded for a reason.
No, but you slice it and then you tower it, and that allows the steam to come out, and then you
Dang.
It's
That's a process. To me, it's like, this is a 3-minute, I need to cook this, slide it down my gullet, and go on with my life. I don't want to wait 18 minutes to eat a pizza pop.
Clark, we've talked about this. We are in an instant society or instant gratification society.
Yeah.
Do you not want to treat yourself, pamper yourself a little bit?
I don't know. I got to
Come
try
on.
the air fryer, though.
we're talking about oven baked right now. Man.
I know, but now I got to try an air fryer.
Well, you got to try the air fryer. Air fryer is good for chicken wings. Air fryer.
I love an air fryer.
Anyways, Nick, we're going to have to talk about trademarking the Prep My Pops.
Prep My Pops.
Nick can get us in touch with some great people. Prep My Pops.
Jordan's in my ear this whole time. He's like, oven. It's better that way.
Thank
oven.
you,
So
Director Jordan. He's not just the
Max.
best in the biz for what he brings to the table on the skills front. But
Max, we're going to kick you out of this chair. I know you got, what else do you have to say?
Just saying I'm right. That's end of debate.
Okay.
I'm right.
That's how you usually end these debates. I'm right. I'm leaving.
Nailed it.
Max, we're kicking you out because we're bringing in a Hall of Famer.
We certainly are.
And you can't compete with that. No offense.
Can you?
No.
Okay. But you'll stay no matter what.
You got to take pictures.
That's true. I got stuff
All right.
to do.
Nick Lewis coming in next. Recently inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. We'll talk to you in about 2.5 minutes. Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Peterson Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Everyday hoop life. Every day, baby.
Welcome back into the bunker. We got some fan comments fired up about these pizza pops, you guys. This is a big news. This is big topics. But we have even bigger news and bigger topics coming up next as we bring in our guest for the night. Now, you, Nick, it's time to hit this show into a Hall of Fame difficulty, as you might say, when you're playing video games and stuff. We have CFL royalty among us tonight, people. Not only is he a two-time Grey Cup champion, the all-time CFL receptions king, I might add, and Stampeders, Alouettes legends, but he's launching a brand new sports content platform, if you want to call it that. It's more than that.
Oh, it's a community. It's a platform, but it's a community.
And he's about to make some big waves. So Nick Lewis is here. Nick, thanks for being here tonight.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Anybody ever tell you, I was looking up there.
Yes.
You look like the guy from, what's that show with the bikers?
Oh, yes. Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy.
Somebody told me, so Jax is the main character since I slicked my hair back.
Yes.
I got a little Jax, but he's more blonde, but I also look
He
like
was in Mighty
Opie.
Ducks.
What?
Yes, wasn't that the same guy?
No, Charlie Hunnam is from Australia.
No,
I don't
not
think,
Charlie Hunnam.
The other guy.
The other guy.
Opie. Opie was Opie. No, Opie was in Remember the
Slapshot, right?
Titans. Opie was in Remember the
was in Remember
Titans.
the Titans.
Yeah.
But was he not the one with the slap shot?
You're thinking of Fulton Reed.
Fulton.
He was in Daredevil.
Oh, well.
There was
Look like
definitely
one of
some.
them.
They look close.
You look
but
like one of
I can pull off like a mix of Opie because I'm a bigger guy and Jax is a bit smaller. But I could see.
Jax Teller.
I'm gonna take that as a massive compliment, Nick.
Jax Teller.
A massive compliment. So Nick, first off, like we can't skip the lead here. Can't bury the lead. Last week you get inducted into the CFL, Canadian Football Hall of Fame. I
Yeah.
should say. Let's be real of what it is.
Amazing.
It's not the CFL. It's the Canadian Football Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Now, first question: has it sunk in yet?
Oh, yeah, it sunk in right away.
Right away. Well, you've known for a little bit though, right? They told you a
Since
little
March
bit ago.
18th.
Yeah.
You know, but after the end of the conversation, it's like, you can't tell anybody. And I was
Yeah.
like, no. You know,
Nick Lewis not telling somebody something is a hard thing.
I was kind of torn because it was like, I'm keeping stuff from my family. I'm keeping stuff from people. And I'm having these conversations with people and I just can't tell them. And part of me was like, I feel like I'm being rude by not telling them. And then part of me is like, well, I'm probably helping them to not have to hold this information for 3 weeks.
You're doing them a favor.
And it was supposed to come out on the 7th of April. And
My birthday.
then they moved it to the 13th.
Yeah.
So
they didn't want to take attention away from my birthday on the 7th, so they said, we'll push it a week. Now, were you told everybody else who was getting inducted or just you?
no, just me.
Okay, so you didn't know it was going to be Orlando and all the
Didn't
other
know
guys.
Orlando or Will Johnson or Marv Levy or anyone.
Right.
Of
So that was all a surprise to you when they
Yeah.
announced it. That's cool.
So that's cool.
So I guess my next question going into your childhood and your youth, growing up in Texas, if somebody told you in high school that you were going to be in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame one day, like how would you even have handled that? Like, how was your journey's been pretty crazy?
It's been crazy, but
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was going to be a professional athlete until I got calls from agent after my last college football game. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't think I would have believed it, right? So I remember at our graduation, we have this ceremony like the night before graduation, and they put up these baby pictures and they put up your other picture,
Yeah.
right, your senior picture, and they talk about, they project on what they think you're going to do in 10 years from now or 20 years or whatever. And mine was he was going to play for the Dallas Cowboys. And it was just something that, you know, I was a good athlete and they kind of projected it out. But it was kind of cool that, you know, maybe
Yeah.
they seen something I didn't.
You were close. It was right there. So now you get again. I said you get inducted right beside Orlando Steinhauer. You know, you were a coach, not with him, but you were in the same realm. So you've worked with him in the professional football world over the years, but you played with against him
Yep.
for a couple of years.
Yeah,
So
when
do
he
you
was in
have any?
Toronto.
Do you have any on-field memories of Orlando between the two of you in your early years?
Super quiet. He ran the whole defense. I just remember he's walking back and forth around midfield. He's directing people left and right. If you remember that defense, I was on their side, or I was on BC sidelines near the end zones with Jason Armstead after winning Rookie of the Year, and I wasn't nowhere near the bench. Like nobody knew we were on the sidelines. Jason was just playing in Ottawa that year, so
Yeah.
he knew a security guard that got us down there. But watching him win that Grey Cup in 2004 with Pinball being the first black head coach to win a Grey Cup, with Damon winning that Grey Cup,
man.
and just seeing how they work together. That defense was together for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
With
Who
Michael
else would have been on that?
Fletcher, Mike O'Shea, you had Steinhauer, you had Ivory, you had
Yeah.
Cedric Bonner.
Was Fleming on that team? Flemings?
I'm not sure if Fleming was on that team. He might
yeah,
have been.
unbelievable
right?
team.
You,
Yeah.
you had Cedric Bonner. You had all those guys. I believe Jordan Younger was there. I believe. I'm not sure.
He would have been young at that point, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Byron Parker might have came in right after that, but I can't really remember a lot of those. You know, Tony Miles, one of my favorite receivers. When I first got in the league, I used to love Tony Miles.
Yeah.
Right.
That's another question I guess we could say. Your first couple of years, like again, you kind of came from humble beginnings. You were a Div
I'm still humble, man.
I know you are, but your college career, it wasn't typical. You didn't go to a Div 1 school.
Yep.
You didn't come in flashy. You came in as a hardworking blue collar type of player. So who were a few guys around the league, maybe not so much on your team, but like around the league that you looked up to and say, I want to be like that guy. I want to be like that guy. Who are some of those types of players in your
I think
first
you
couple years?
recognized early. I seen G-Roy was doing really
Yeah.
well.
Pretty good guy to mimic, yeah.
At the time, and Milt. Like, I used to watch those guys.
Yeah.
Milt's patient. When he run routes, he was very patient. When he gets the ball in his hand, he puts it in one hand and he outruns everybody.
Yeah.
Right? G-Roy had that same kind of flair. It was one of those things where G-Roy wasn't super fast, but not a lot of people could catch G-Roy on the football field.
Yeah.
And it was one of those where I just watched the way they did things. I remember through Salacio, Wayne McGarity, and Albert Cano, who was my teammates at the time, we went and hung out with Jermaine Copeland and Kwame Cavill and those guys in Montreal. And I really liked Cope's vibe because we clicked,
Yeah.
right?
Which turned into a pretty good lifelong friendship.
Yes, it did, right? So
Yeah.
it's just those things, man, that you come into the league, and I love Tony Miles, man. I just remember him just making play after play. He wasn't a big guy. He could he could do so much, right?
Yeah.
So those are some of my favorites coming in.
I think it was, now this is just going back to the Rod Peterson show, but I think we had Jackie Mitchell on, and somebody asked him who was the hardest receiver to cover. And I think his direct quote was Milt Stegall, because he was the fastest slow guy I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So he wasn't regarded as one of the faster players, but he just could burn you. And that was
It's
like
all
you
tempo.
said. Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's all tempo.
Yeah.
People get crazy, but you ever play Tiger Woods with the Tiger Vision?
Of course, yeah.
That's how I was. Like, so I could see a spot on the field, and I'm like, if I get to this spot, I'm going to get the catch.
Yeah.
Right? So I would be able to see spots. Once I hit the line, it's almost like everything slowed down. The rotations happen. I'm like, if I get to that spot, I'm getting this catch.
How much of that comes with, like, your first couple of years in the league, again, getting into a new league with the waggle and everything? It's got to be weird for a kid from Texas to come up and play all these different rules. How long did it take you to fully adjust into what Nick Lewis was, in his prime?
I think I did it pretty well. Watching my cousin play, I think about 5 or 6 years at that point of arena football. So I'd watch him in that one single man motion a lot. And I'm an analyzer. So if I can sit there and watch somebody do something, I feel like I can go and do it. And so to be able to see him and study his game and do those things, I think I was able to implement myself in this game pretty well.
Who's your cousin?
Tacoma Fontaine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were able to kind of take what
the
he
last
did.
guest on the Lulu Logic podcast.
Oh, hey, there you go. We're going to get to some fan questions later on, so make sure you guys are sending those in as we go. But you said you're an analyzer, and that kind of works into my next question really nicely. You transitioned into coaching after your career was over.
Yeah.
Pretty quick, like immediately, right?
Well, I missed that 1 year.
Off?
I missed the 1 year, I guess, coaching Regina for the Riders. And, yeah, it was Jones brought me in for training camp a little bit. Had to leave when my mom got sick, so.
Right.
And then, so the next year.
So transitioning into coaching, taking that analyzer mentality, was it a pretty quick transition? Because the reason I ask is there's this mentality around sports that the best ones can't coach. So you look at like a Wayne Gretzky, for example. He had a hard time transitioning into being a full-time head coach.
Yeah.
So was it difficult for you, or was it easier for you because, like you said, you're that analyzing type of guy?
I felt like it was pretty easy to transition. I've been training kids since 2008.
Right.
So understanding what people can do and my job is to help you get better as an athlete and more mentally, So I feel like for me it was an easy transition into that. But I know a lot of people can't coach because if you throw like Brett Favre, he can't teach you to throw like that.
Yeah.
Right? Most talented guys have something very unique about them that they can't teach. I can actually teach how to break tackles.
Right.
Right?
Hurdle.
It's
you can teach how to hurdle guys.
I do not teach how to hurdle.
That's a company
I can
secret.
prepare you to prepare your body, right? You got to cut your mind off.
Yeah.
And that's where Brandon Bridge, I used to tell him all the time, I said, you're thinking about jumping over somebody, right? If you don't think and you just prepare your body,
right,
you just let your body react, and then it just goes. When I jump, sometimes I'm like, no.
Yeah.
All right? But when people start gathering their feet to jump, That's when they get caught.
How much now? 1,051 catches.
Yeah.
13,778 yards. I want to get these numbers right so I don't get them off. But you mentioned it. You know, a lot of being a receiver when these quarterbacks are throwing you balls at speeds that most people will never see in their lives, and it's all timing. You know, the ball's on you as soon as you make your cut. How much of that is straight up just preparation, reaction and rather than skill? Like, do you know
I think most one-handed catches is reaction.
Right.
Right. It's not a skill. There's no kind of difficulty level to catching the ball here, because now it's just like, I remember one time in 2010 we were playing the Western Final. I couldn't even feel my hands. Hank threw a pass behind me on an out route. I stick my hand out. The ball spins in my hand, and I catch it. It's a one-handed catch it's minus 37 degrees outside. If you ask me if I could do that again, no. Right? It's not a skill.
Yeah.
It's just something that you prepare your body, you react. The ball lucky bounces, it's stuck in the hand.
Yeah.
You know, things happen. Like David Tyree will never make that catch again off his helmet. Right?
Well, we were just talking about Julian Edelman last week. That catch he made against the Falcons in that Super Bowl where it just bounced around in between 4 sets of legs and 3 sets of hands, and he brought it in and got his hand under it. It's like, that's
Tyreek Hill's catch this year for a touchdown that he didn't even know he caught.
Yeah, right.
And they called it incomplete, right?
Yeah.
So those things they just don't happen like that, man.
Who was the quarterback that you played with that had the hardest throw, the strongest arm? I'll say
Hank.
that's probably Hank.
Yeah,
I could see that. That makes a lot of sense.
Hank or Michael Bishop, both of them.
You played with
there.
Bishop? I was going to ask because he's kind of the one with the folklore around these parts as the guy who could just basically, you know, off his back foot throw 75 yards, no problem.
Yeah.
And that's why he brought it in. He was brought into Saskatchewan because they needed a deep threat like that, and he was a guy I've always wondered. Because everyone always talked about how hard his arm or how hard he could throw a ball. So Hank in general, though, you'd probably say
Hank could throw it. Hank gasses everything. I think Hank just doesn't trust anybody.
Oh yeah, elaborate.
Yeah. I just think that, especially early in his career, he would wait for you to get out of your break and then he fits it in. And I think that's why he threw so many interceptions, because he would try to fit it in.
Right.
Right. Instead of just trusting you to be there and throw it. Early, he's waiting, and then he fits it in. But, I mean, I caught a dart over Chip Cox's head for like a 42-yard touchdown, caught it in the end zones, like this, like I'm catching a 5-yard pass.
Yeah.
Because Hank just put it on a rope. And in the picture, I'm catching the ball like this above my head. Chip Cox is just now getting his hand up as I'm catching the ball.
That's a poster right there.
Yeah.
Was there anybody you loved beating? Now, I'm talking you're a receiver, they're a linebacker, DB, halfback, or whatever. Was there anybody that when you lined up on a Friday or a Saturday or whatever day it was, and you're like, yes, I get to beat this guy today?
Well, there's two. There's one that was Corey Banks because he was so talented. And, you know, we like to talk trash, and we'd go back and forth when he was in Ottawa. Didn't play too much man-to-man in BC.
Okay.
And then the second one was really Sean Lucas. I mean,
ooh.
I really like going against Sean Lucas. I remember one game, the first play of the game, I run out there, and I basically stick my palm in his face mask as hard as I could. We ran the ball. His face mask hits him in the face. His ear pads fall out of his helmet.
Yeah.
He picks it up and runs off the field.
Yeah.
And I was so irritated that he wouldn't even talk.
Yeah. He just ran away.
He just ran away. And then he came back 2 plays later, and he's back out there, still not saying anything. And, that's Tad's homie. But
Who couldn't you beat? Now, again, you come from humble beginnings, so I know you're going to give me an answer here.
There's only 2 people that could ever guard or stop me from getting the ball.
Yeah.
That's the quarterback and the OC.
Fair.
That's it.
I love that answer. You know, I've never heard that. That's a great.
If,
we might have
if you weren't a quarterback or you weren't OC, you had no chance.
We might have to make a meme out of that one, Max. That one's good. That one's good. Now we mentioned the 1,051 receptions, the almost 14,000 yards. Are there any that really, when you think back, like, you know, when you're dreaming about your old games or you're thinking about your old games, is there a catch or 2 or 3 or one long catch or something that stands out to you when you're thinking back, like one that just kind of clicks when I think my best catch ever?
Well, I think I had a couple good catches. I like the one in the back of the end zones against, I think it was Winnipeg or Hamilton. I had a catch on the sideline in Winnipeg coming from the left side of the field to the right. Hank was scrambling. He throws it off one leg kind of across his body, and I don't know how he threw it out there, but the ball started rising. And as I'm getting to the sideline, I know I can't get my left foot in, so I face him, I raise my left foot up. I start to fall backwards, catch it above my head, and slide my right foot.
Yeah.
And then I fall out of bounds, get up. But, I don't think anybody was like, oh, man, that was a great catch. But just I think the difficulty for the throw and the catch of the ball rising as I'm crossing the out of bounds line. Like this foot over here is out of bounds off the ground, and this foot is sliding across. So I just think that was one that stands out to me that nobody really ever.
Yeah, it's a cool one. Yeah. I can see that. We got a fan question here from Jackson. He's my nephew, by the way. But who's your favorite team that you played with? Now, when he says that, he doesn't obviously, because you only played for 2.
Yep.
But he means like the year of the team. Like, was there 2010 or 2011? Like, what year was your favorite year? I guess is basically the question. Because I know,
That's
again,
a hard
favoritism.
one. I mean,
but
I love the 2018
was that your Grey Cup year?
Grey Cup year, the first year. It just had so many valuable people on it that did so much. But I would say it'd be out of that team in 2010. I thought 2010 was the best team I ever played on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you look across the board, we had Tom Johnson, who had like an 8-year NFL career after that.
Yeah.
We had Charleston, Clay. You had Juwan Simpson, Dwight Anderson, and Brandon Browner, Keon Raymond.
Man.
Brandon Smith.
Few Hall of Famers on that defense.
Yeah, you had so many guys on that. And then on offense, it was me, Romby, and Rambo. Almost all had 1,200-yard seasons. Romby had 16 touchdowns. I had 9. Ram had 8. Joffrey, Cornish, Hank.
Dang.
Like,
yeah.
Ryan Thelwell.
Yeah. Oh,
R.J.
man.
Franklin. Like, we had so many guys. And
That was an unbelievable roster right there.
Right? So we started off 9-1.
Yeah.
I remember I'd go into the hot tub after games with a bottle of tequila, drinking it just like, we're not losing.
It's not happening. I had another question that's going to come out of that, and I guess we'll get to another one. Somebody said Calgary 08 is my guess. And it's a shame that Nick never played for the Riders. Now, you have I almost played for the Riders story. I think most players in the CFL probably have
I almost coached for the Riders.
Well, didn't you say earlier that you said something about you met Shiv?
Roy Shivers wanted me to come to the Riders
now,
in 2005.
Can you kind of just maybe say that story? Because I feel like there's everyone in the league always has a I almost came to Saskatchewan story. We ask a lot of people, a lot of players have said, I almost signed there the 1 year, or somebody almost traded me, or I almost went to a training camp or whatever. But you have one that was almost, it was after your rookie year, right?
Well, after my rookie year, I was still in a contract with Calgary. And when I'm under contract with Calgary and I'm at the workout camp because one of my college friends worked out for the Riders.
Right.
And Roy walks up to me, and we end up talking, and Danny Barrett was there. And we were just all talking and laughing and stuff. And, he said it in jest, like, oh, man, you should come to the Riders. You be the man then. And then
You would have been. Let's be real.
The crazy part is he was talking to me like I could be the man. But at the same time, my agent at the time was talking to Jim Barker, who was the new GM in Calgary. And Jim Barker was saying, I don't think he can make this team.
Oh, so there's a wrinkle in that.
Right. So,
and then you proved him wrong, obviously.
Right. So he's like, I think Nick's a good player on a bad team.
Right.
And, I just had to go compete.
Now, you told me, we were talking about this the other day, but you told me.
Casamigos.
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite tequila? There you go.
Casamigos.
I know Emery's actually a tequila guy, so there you go. We're creating friends here tonight. Who is your favorite defensive player to play against? I kind of asked that already, but was there another guy that you hated lining up against or anything along those lines? Like maybe even a defensive lineman that you just knew your team was gonna have a tough day with that guy, or somebody along those lines.
Oh, there's a lot of guys. I mean, I think that's what makes the CFL special. I mean, I got to play in the transition. I call it the transition era, from the old school era.
Yeah.
With Joe Montford and all those guys like that, Joe Fleming and that type of player that were just animals, Rashard Genty and these big defensive linemen that could run and were freakish athletes, to where it is kind of now.
Yeah.
Right, with the Charleston Hughes, the Sean Lemons, the Odell Willis, and they're smaller, but they're freakishly still athletic. But you think about some of the guys back in the day that were bigger doing the same things.
Right.
And so I kind of got to play in those eras, and It's just one of those, when you play against Edmonton on Labor Day and Labor Day rematch, and AJ Gass is out there, and you see him as a rookie rip off the quarterback's helmet on the sneak and throw it 15 yards, there's no penalty flag.
Yeah.
Like today, you're probably getting fined $5,000 and missing a week of football. But,
Yeah. Now,
it's crazy.
I think the first time, because this is your second time you've been on our show.
Yeah.
The first time, I think we asked this question, but let's do it again. Who hit you the hardest?
Kyrie Saber.
Kyrie Saber. I remember that was your answer before. And
Yeah.
can you explain it? Do you remember it?
Yep. I ran an out and up. Danny Wimprime was the quarterback. Hank had got hurt the week before in Hamilton. Jason Gesser came in to finish the game. He started the next week. Jason Gesser gets hurt. Danny Wimprime comes in. And Danny didn't have a strong arm, but I won so bad on the out and up that he just floats one to me, and Kyrie's hit me. And I remember getting up celebrating.
On the sideline, kind of?
No, I ran the out and then back towards the middle of the field.
Oh, okay.
And Kyrie's played safety for Ottawa back then, and he just came downfield and hit me. Like, as soon as I catch it, boom, I'm just getting hit. I get up, I start celebrating. Kyrie looks at me kind of like, I can't believe he just got up.
Yeah.
And I can hear Cope and Rambo saying, oh, you can't hurt the pit bull. You can't hurt the pit bull. We get back to the huddle, and I'm just like, man, he hit me. And everything on the right side, the lights are just flickering up and down. I go tell Pat Clayton, like, hey, everything on this side is flickering. He's like, well, you good? I said, I remember everything. I feel good. It's just everything on my right side is flickering. Probably about 8 minutes later into the game, near the end of the game, run the same play down in the red zone, and he hits me again at the 2-yard line. I get the catch. Took the flicker away, though.
Yeah.
So
He
the
turned
only
the lights
person that
back
gave
on.
me a concussion and took it away.
Take it away.
Allowed me to go party after the game. I appreciate you, Kyrie.
I love that. I love that so much. So now we're gonna let the fans keep sending in your questions. If you have any other playing days questions for Nick, please send them in. But we want to get into your new venture, and this is obviously a big deal for all of us here in this building. But I don't want to say too much. But I think we can say more than we said last time you were on the show, because we did talk about it last time you were on the show, but it was very much an idea
Very
at that
brief,
point.
yeah.
So now we're a lot farther along in the process. So first of all, I've known you for a couple years now, and you always have really great ideas, and this one has come to the forefront.
Yes.
Now, a lot of the things you touch turn to gold. The Lewis touch, if you want to say it. Max coined that one. But this one's called AO Sports TV, and if you don't know about it already, you're gonna. But make sure you go follow all the social media channels, because they got launched this weekend. Am I correct in saying that?
Yep.
AO Sports
Thanks
TV.
to
So
Max.
that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook page, and there's more to come. So stay
LinkedIn.
tuned. LinkedIn. So let's tell everybody what this idea is. First of all, like, what is the actual idea itself, and where did it come from?
So the simple form is we're empowering athletes and sports content creators,
Right.
to have a platform to monetize and distribute their content, right? There's nowhere right now that you can actually monetize your content. If you look at what YouTube does, they pay you pennies compared to what they make. So if you look at a Facebook model, Facebook allows everybody to come on there for free. Facebook now makes hundreds of millions of dollars in ads. Every fourth post is an ad. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars in ads, and they pay nobody.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You look at YouTube, same kind of thing. They're making so much money, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're paying out 3 to 5 cents.
Right.
Right? Plus, you're in a content world where good luck finding it. I throw my podcast into YouTube, and good luck finding it. It's not going to gain anybody, like, unless you hear about it, you're not just going to go on YouTube and find it.
Yeah.
Right? Everything has algorithms set up against you unless you have something very polarizing about yourself. And I don't really like to promote my stuff too much, but so AO Sports comes in to fix all of those needs for athletes and for the content creators. So we'll be providing, I'll have my documentary coming out on there. Also have the First Down Factory, my CFL show that'll be coming back on there. Once the CFL launches, which I believe will be in July or August.
Yeah. Yeah. We're hoping for that. Fingers crossed.
We'll have that coming out. It'll be twice a week, and I'll get to bring people on and talk about different things in the CFL, But it's just people like that, man, just coming on. Some will have shows. Some will be content creators. We have a lot of great people involved, and we're going to put some stuff together that people really want to see. We're going to give away those dream trips. We're going to give away exclusive merchandise. We're going to give away so many different things that everybody's going to want to be a part of AO, because it's truly going to be a game changer. Because, I'll say this, Warren Sapp, I talked to him for 2 minutes, and he's like, so nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't say? I said, well, Warren, if you own the show, who can tell you what you can and can't say?
Yeah, that's the beauty of that.
He goes, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So this is going to give athletes a chance to. Now, this is one thing that CFL players have been talking about for a long time, but monetizing their own self, their own brand, their own whatever you want to call it. So this is going to allow athletes to put themselves out there, put their content out there, connect to fans. I think you said something about maybe some potential live streams.
We'll be doing some educational stuff. We have our pay-per-view set up through our platform as well. So we'll be doing leadership talks. We'll be doing nutrition talks. We'll be doing all kinds of different things through that portal, right? We'll create mentorship programs with our athletes and some of our young athletes. And we want it to be everything. Like I said, we're building a community.
Right.
Inside the community, we want everyone to win. So if you're a fan, we want you to get exclusive content. We want to create memories and experiences for you. If you're an athlete, we want you to get paid for your content, and we want you to improve your social impact. And by improving your social impact is improving the community you're in.
Yeah.
Right? Let's affect the communities we're in. Let's go out. Let's be charitable. Let's give money. Let's do everything that we can to improve our networks and our communities. Right. So we're going to win all the way across the board. And if you're a sponsor, you're going to love to be involved in this, right? Because we're truly impacting everyone.
Yeah. And this is taking it directly from the sponsor to the player, giving them power over all of that kind of stuff too, right? There's a lot of empowerment in this. Now, before we get too much more into kind of how this is going to change the industry, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that's the plan.
Yep.
You mentioned there is some big names behind this. Yourself, you mentioned a few other names earlier, but I don't want to give away too much. But can you give away a couple of the kind of names you're working with, maybe the board?
So on the board, I got Gerald Smiley on my board, which is
who was on the Rod Peterson show last week with you, right?
Yeah. CEO Chip In was drafted by the Texas Rangers in the first round or the 9th round. Back in 2001 out of high school, and Garrett Jones, who's another Rod Peterson faithful here, and we were teammates back in 2007. Devon Claybrooks is on my board, and he's the one that connected me to Warren Sapp because he won a Super Bowl
Tampa.
with Warren Sapp in Tampa.
Yeah.
Right, the last Super Bowl won in Tampa. Devon won it with that group, and he played in that game. So Tad Cornegay, which is a Rider faithful. People love Tad here.
Yeah.
And, Damon Allen. So we have a very diverse board, looking to bring on one more, and hopefully that comes through. And, I've been putting out some teasers and some things that we've been working on, but it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to be able to do so many cool things. Another thing is the Grey Cup this year. If I'm going into the Hall of Fame in the Grey Cup this year, you better believe you want to be at the Grey Cup this year because AO is going to have its own events at the Grey Cup this year. And I'm looking to do it big. I want to do at least 2 to 3 parties, and I would like to do an all-women's event, women in football event.
Perfect.
And bringing in a lot of female athletes and things like that to provide women in sports events at the Grey Cup. And I think it's time we up the ante on everything and just turn it into a big party, but also educational and bring some influence in.
That sounds pretty amazing. And with all those CFL greats on the board, I can just imagine a Grey Cup party would be a little fun. It'd be a little fun.
I'm pretty sure Warren will want to come too.
Yeah, well, hey, there you go.
So we'll bring most of our roster. We'll bring. I won't say most of it because we're looking to launch about 200 people. But
yeah, I've heard some names.
But we'll bring some good people that you want to be around and hang out with, and everybody will have a good time.
I love it. So there's a lot to look forward to with that. Now, Can you explain again? You kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I want to make sure we get into it as much as we can here tonight.
Thank you, Donna.
Yeah, Donna. Yes, she's pumped about it. So explain how this is going to change the game. Now, you kind of already have touched on it a little bit, how the monetization is going to come in and the platform is going to be, you're going to be able to, it's going to be great to use. How is this going to change the way athletes connect to everybody in terms of fan bases, communities, like you mentioned, all that kind of stuff?
Well, with Chip in and benefiting off that, allows us to really dive into our social impact. And we're able to, people could submit bills, or people can submit, if let's say a football team or jerseys, they submit a receipt, and we're able to now pay for that directly right there. Right. So you're going to increase your social impact that way. And
so Chip In is the company. Chip
that's
In
the
is
catalyst,
Gerald Smiley's. Yeah.
So that's going to be part of the catalyst. So imagine this. When you pay your subscription, which is going to be under $10 a month, you're going to get discount codes from all of our sponsors.
Right.
So if we have 10 sponsors, you'll get discount codes from all of our sponsors when you pay your monthly membership. Plus, you'll be able to win prizes, which will be select merchandise, exclusive merchandise from our athletes.
Right.
That
Your whole roster of
that's going to
athletes.
encompass NFL, CFL, U Sports, NCAA, MLS, WNBA, European Premier League soccer, rugby,
all the
international
favorite
rugby,
letters. Yeah.
NBA. So
Yeah.
we're encompassing everything, and you're going to have a chance to not only win those dream trips and do those things, but get your bills paid. And one of the biggest things for me is how do we get people back to where they were before, and how do we get them better?
Right.
Right. Everyone needs help, and if we can incorporate this all pull together mode, then we're going to be able to do this together. And and that's where we need to be as athletes. You want to be in the driver's seat to be able to help. Like I said, it's all about your community. You want to be able to help your community. And, when every athlete can support their community, then we're all winning.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you were to combine a few companies, would this be like a Netflix mixed with like a Groupon mixed with like, what was I going to say? Netflix, Groupon, GoFundMe. There's all these types of aspects that are coming into it,
Yep.
built with your favorite athletes of all time.
That's it.
That's it.
Like you're gonna get. I want to give you $100 value for less than $10 a month.
Right.
Right, and then you get the content on top of it.
On top of it.
Right.
So, and you'll be able to flip through it and find your favorite ones.
Find
and it's
your
all
favorite
right there.
ones. Subscribe to your favorite ones.
I don't know, guys. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
My dad's checking in right at the top there. Nick, wish you could have seen you in Ryder Green. Everyone in Saskatchewan's going to say that to you. Congrats on
I
the
don't
Hall of
think
Fame.
I was already disliked. I don't think they'd have really liked me. I wouldn't have got first ballot if I'd have came to Riders. The league would have
know.
been mad at me.
I don't know. Is there a quarterback? Now, I was going to ask this and I forgot to write it down, but is there a quarterback that played against you that you wish you could have played with at some point?
Top of my head, just Ricky Ray.
Yeah.
Or Mike Riley.
Yeah.
After seeing Mike Riley. Me and Mike Riley almost became teammates.
Yeah?
After my first year in Montreal, we were here in Regina at the whole thing, and he was like, I want you to come to Edmonton.
Oh, to Edmonton at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I was like, you know what?
I think you would have had a harder time playing in Edmonton, given your Calgary background, than in Saskatchewan. I think they would have accepted you here. There's been some guys cross over that people have accepted.
When you get paid, you can do a lot of things for it, right? So
Yeah.
it's
That's
one of
true.
those things.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, man. And yeah, it almost happened.
I can confirm. Tim Fox is saying I can confirm. Ryder fans hated Nick. I mean, hey, I sat on the visitor sidelines for many years at Taylor Field. I know what some of the things were said to you guys down there. We sat behind a few guys that would yell some obscenities at you guys over the years. Is there something that stands out? And maybe feel free to get off we're not PG or anything here. Was there anything that you remember that was like the funniest thing you heard a fan say? Because I'm sure you got into some heated arguments with fans over the years.
I think the funniest thing, it wasn't even towards me. Fans used to call me fat and stuff, and I'm like, dude, that is so ungeneric.
And then you go get it,
like
20 catches.
Like that's just ungeneric, right?
Yeah.
So let's if you're going to say something, do some research, make it interesting.
Yeah.
Like one dude called me fat, and it was Winnipeg, and I was walking down the sideline, I was like, your girl likes me, and she started smiling, and I said, I told you. And but see, that's funny stuff. It can go back and forth, but I think the funniest one was in here in Sask when the crowd just erupts yelling out Kyle Kohler-Morgan.
Okay.
And nobody knew who Kyle Kohler-Morgan was. I'm like, well, he don't play for this team. And then Burt Dells Googles him after the game, and Kyle Kohler-Morgan is the guy that beat up Sandro DeAngelis at Nebraska.
Okay. So they did do some research.
They did do some research, but then it goes out into the fans, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember one time Joff wanted to sell the Hank Bra pictures in front of the hotel.
Yeah.
He's like, we could blow them up and sell them.
Yeah.
In front of the hotel, we could make some money.
Would have made some money. You could have sold them on the street walking into the arena if you had a healthy scratch that day.
Yeah.
Just go outside and he could just stand out there and
But see,
sell
we
some
didn't,
pictures.
and then we walk in the stadium. Joff sees a picture. He goes, "See, I told you we could have sold them."
Missed opportunity.
But we went as Hank with bras and Hank jerseys with bras around our neck.
Yeah.
For Halloween one year.
Yeah. That would have been a good one.
Me and Joffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, we won't keep you too much longer. Is there anything else you can tell us about AO right now? Where can people follow it and get on board with the movement? Because it's coming fast.
Yeah, AO Sports TV on all the social medias. You can go to aosports.tv, and you can see there, if you click the image, you can actually go and win that portrait. We're giving away 2 of those portraits through Chip In and some other things. You can already go ahead and get your membership on now. We're giving discounts to memberships right now as well. You get a 1-month membership for $5 right now. So
there you go.
If you want to go chip in and just pay for that up front. But yeah, we're just going to have a lot of fun, man. And we want to be educational for everybody's coming behind us. But also, I think it's time to remove the logos. You use the logo that uses you, and then remove the logo to allow you to be for the rest of your life, right? If I'm remembered only as Nick Lewis, the football player, I failed in life.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think you will, because I think there's a lot coming up that people are going to get really excited about. So, Nick, can you post the older one somebody asked? Which one are we talking about?
No, post that for the older ones. So post.
You want the links to everything? Okay, yeah, we'll get you everything for AO Sports. Alan, if you can find the links and put them into the comments section, please, that would be great. So, Nick, thanks for popping in. This won't be the last time we see you here on the SquadCast.
Oh no!
And you have a lot more coming up. So get used to seeing his face again, because it's coming. So, anyways, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for popping in.
Thank you. Have a great one.
All right, thank you. When we come back, we got some Blue Jays talk in the Bluebird block, plus NHL talk coming up as well. So stay tuned. Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Peterson Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Everyday hoop life.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Just getting my mind blown by Nick Lewis in the commercial
Got some
break.
numbers.
A couple of numbers
numbers.
for the boys. Again, big shout out to Nick Lewis. We got big things coming up for AO
Thank you,
Sports. And we will be talking to Nick Lewis a lot. I think seeing him a lot in the near future, again, as I mentioned. So, Max, you're going computerless for this segment, but the next topic is Blue Jays, and I think we can rattle a few things off the top of our heads when
Did
it
they
comes
come
to the
back
boys.
tonight? I haven't even checked.
You tell me. But we're going to start it off. Let's go with Vladimir Guerrero, Max. He's been absolutely tearing the cover off of balls for the whole season so far. And I haven't tuned into as many games as you have so far, Max. I've been catching a lot of the Jays in 30s, those types of things.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it's easier that way. But I've been seeing a lot of stuff. I've been reading a lot of stuff about the Jays, and Vladdy seems like he's on a whole new level this year. He's hitting better. He has more plate discipline. He's hitting. He's not just relying on the long ball. He's getting them. He's manufacturing runs, which is weird for a guy you consider to be a power hitter. So what would you say has been the biggest thing that's clicked for Vladdy this year? Because it seems like is it his weight loss? What is his training regimen? What do you think?
I think it's everything that went into this offseason. When we look at Vladdy Guerrero Jr., everybody expected so much of him at such a young age.
Yeah.
And you know what? At the end of the day, it took his dad a little while to get going too. This is his, third professional season now?
Yeah.
And
Second and a half.
exactly. Second and a half.
But
right?
third, yeah.
And I think when you look at the transformation for Vladdy as a whole, yes, the weight loss is huge, but I think he had just had a shift in mindset this year, right? He looked around the league and he's like, I kind of want to be looked at as a Fernando Tatis Jr. I want to be looked at as a guy that's among the elite hitters in the game. And I think we're really seeing that through 17 now ball games. I'm not too sure what his numbers were tonight. We were a little busy prepping a show. But
bit.
through 16, what was the stat that we read earlier this morning from the Athletic, Clark? He's got 12
of the hardest hit balls or something.
12 extra base hits
Right.
at over 100 and some 110,
Seven?
I think.
107, which is a
an obscure
ridiculous number in itself.
Either way, he's hitting the ball really, really hard.
Yeah.
And he's hitting it to all parts of the field, which I think just it kind of goes to show his confidence at the plate now too. And when I watch him and I break down his at-bats, they are really good at-bats, and 80 to 90% of the time they're good at-bats. He was victimized by a really tough strike call in Kansas City with a game on the line that I really think kind of maybe got into his head a little bit for the rest of the series and maybe has plagued him tonight. I think he was 0 for 2 before
0 for 3 tonight with a walk.
0 for 3 with a walk. Hey, but he's still getting on base, right? At the end of the day, he's not chasing those pitches anymore that we saw him traditionally chase in that first season and a half. And again, you look at it, he's only a season and a half and a little bit into this one. I just think the ceiling is, or the sky is the limit for this kid, and we have yet to see the surface scratched. It's been a great start for him, though.
Bo Bichette said the other day that Vladimir Guerrero, if not already, will be and can be the best hitter in the league.
Don't doubt it.
And that's Bo Bichette saying that, who might be one of the best himself.
Absolutely.
Now, Max, speaking of Bo Bichette, let's get into it a little bit. You mentioned that he's not quite clicking defensively yet. Can you talk about that? What have you seen?
Oh, I hate it. These clips, they always set me up to talk a little negative about Bo, and I absolutely love Bo.
Oh, it's your jersey.
And I was just going to say, if we could flip it around, we don't have to, but it's Bo on the back, people. I absolutely love this kid.
I could flip it around.
Yeah, it's okay.
Everyone knows.
Don't strain yourself.
Everyone knows.
But either way, this kid is absolutely incredible in a lot of facets of the game. And again, we just talked about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. being a young player. shortstop is an incredibly difficult position at most levels of baseball, especially professional, let alone the top level at Major League Baseball. So I think we're starting to see with Bo, he's going to figure it out. There's no question about the kid's athleticism, his mental makeup. I don't know if you watched his interview after he hit the walk-off bomb against the Yankees, but his demeanor is just so precise, and you can tell he's the son of a major leaguer who's gone through it before. He just understands the game, and he understands that you can't let one day beat you in a 162-game schedule. And I think we're starting to see maybe a couple of days beat him early on in the season, but as the season goes on, those days are going to get fewer and further between. And when you look at Bo and again his makeup, he's going to figure it out. But yeah, he's had a tough start defensively this year, a few errors that he'd like to have back. But again, I think just the progressions of a young shortstop who's going through the growing pains at the major league level.
There's something to be said about the sons and daughters of former professional athletes in general. You hear about it with hockey players all the time. I'll give an example. We had Mike Sillinger in here last summer. Like, this was about almost like half a year ago, at least almost a year ago now.
There's a name.
There's a name, Mike Sillinger. He's been around the NHL a little bit, and he's like, "Hey, my son's in town. Do you want him to come in too?" I was like, Cole Sillinger is in town.
Draft-eligible prospect
he was 16 at the time, I think, and he comes in here, and you couldn't tell this guy wasn't already 25 years old, playing 5 years in the NHL. Like, he was smart as a whip, like very mature, and I don't know if his older brothers are Owen and Lucas. I'm not saying anything about Owen and Lucas.
We'll have to get a verification from Mike on that.
Yeah, but Cole, I'll just speak for Cole specifically. But he was very mature for being a 16-year-old hockey player, and I think there's definitely something to be said. And I don't think that there's a coincidence that there's at least three former, sons of former baseball players on this team: Bichette, Guerrero, Biggio, and I think they tried to get a few other ones. Griffin Conine was in there, Jeff Conine's kid, and there's a couple other ones throughout the years. But there's a level of maturity that comes with a former player's kid, because they were in the locker rooms as a kid. They watched their dad's interviews throughout their careers. They saw the preparation, the hard work that goes into it. Whereas a kid, who maybe just did it all himself, he doesn't have that long-term experience with all of it. So there's definitely something to be said, which leads me to my next point. Cavan Biggio off to a slow start, but he's 0-4 again tonight. Mm-hmm. So what would you say is going on with Cavan? And again, this is where this experience comes in. Are you worried, or are you sure he's going to turn this around?
I'm sure he's going to turn around. We've seen so much from this kid in one of, I guess, the early part of his career. Again, same thing. It's. I feel bad. We're just on repeat here. These kids are young. These kids are young. But at the same time, again, bloodlines in the major leagues, right? You alluded to it with his dad, who's one of the greatest hitters of all time. He's going to snap out of this. It's tough to watch early on in the season, but really, you look around the lineup, there's only 3 to 4 guys really carrying their weight right now. And at the plate, Marcus Semien struggled too. He's been a bomb or a miss guy kind of thing to start the season. So when you look at Cavan, and again, you go back to his makeup, you go back to just, again, the bloodlines itself, he's going to figure it out. I think he is experiencing a bit of a crisis of confidence right now, more so even than Rowdy Tellez, who was, again, another slow start to the year, but starting to turn it around, which I'm really, really glad to see, as most Blue Jays fans are. But when it comes to Cavan, I'm not worried one bit. I think he, again, is just going to be a perennial all-star one day in this game. And the other thing you have to look at Cavan, he looked at a major position switch here. He's going to third base, the hot corner. That's no slouch of a position change for a guy who was used to playing the outfield last year, albeit in a shortened season. But even in his rookie year, he played a lot of outfield.
Yeah.
Third base.
Some second base. But third's a whole different beast.
100%. And again, for Cavan, maybe it's the defensive mistakes on that side of the ball that are getting in his head a little bit when he gets to the dish. Either way, he'll figure it out.
Quick update on the Toronto Maple Leafs game.
Ooh.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are losing 2-1 to the Vancouver Canucks right now.
How much time up?
It's halfway through the second. There's lots of time.
You got time.
John Tavares scored early in the first. Brandon Sutter scored early in the second, and Quinn Hughes just scored seconds ago.
So how much credit are you going to give your TikTok video for John Tavares scoring resurgence?
A lot. I think it's because of me. He must have seen it.
Correlation of timelines, man.
He must have seen it.
It's uncanny.
Now, another question we wanted to get into, not question so much as a topic, but Steven Matz has been emerging in the Blue Jays starting rotation. A guy who we didn't give a whole lot of credit for. I think we need to notify that. We didn't give him much credit coming in, so good on him. But for what has he had? 3 starts now. He starts again tomorrow night, I believe, right?
Got an ERA under 2 through 3.
He's been cruising, and he's been such a huge piece for the Jays so far, stabilizing that rotation. I mean, again, what can you say about Steven Matz?
Oh, everything, man. And you know what? I was a bit of a prognosticator when the move was made. I really thought Sean Reed-Foley, best stash in the game, was going to be a really prominent piece of the Blue Jays bullpen, and I hated to see them give him up, especially when you looked at Matz's numbers from a couple of years ago, proceeding into this season with the New York Mets. It wasn't fantastic. He had one great year in that rotation that was, I guess, the Legion of Doom with Jake DeGrom, Matt Harvey, Steven Matz, and I forget who the fourth was. Somebody can maybe help me out on that on the Mets side of things. But this progression, I look at it and I think it's the change of scenery. He was struggling in New York. It's a tough market to be struggling in. Not to say that Toronto Blue Jays fans don't have expectations, but clearly he's met and exceeded them through this early part of the season. And I attribute a lot of it to working with Pete Walker, who a lot of guys say in that clubhouse.
He's the guy who rejuvenates careers.
He's the guy.
Look at how much he helped J.A. Happ that one a couple of times. And I mean, that's just one example. There's been multiple guys where, you know, you see him coming in, as a Jays fan, you're like, why can't they just sign somebody with good numbers? And then they come out and they actually play really well, and then they go sign a big contract and play well somewhere else.
Well, look at Robbie Ray coming back to the organization, too. He really struggled in his last start with walks, but he battled through his start. I absolutely love to see it. Got 5 innings in, especially when the bullpen was a little bit taxed after a doubleheader. I really like to see that out of Robbie Ray, and I think Pete Walker, going back to your point, like you said, resurgence and regeneration of careers. Hopefully that continues. And Steven Matz, he's going to have to be good for this ball club because they're putting themselves in a bit of a hole here this early April. They're a few games below 500, and while it's still early, we need some names back, and we need to get on the sticks a little bit more to help these pitching.
Speaking of names back, good segue, Max.
I know, right?
Just some news and notes. We don't have a whole lot of analysis for this, but it's been announced that George Springer and Teoscar Hernandez are within days of coming back. It sounds like maybe this weekend. They might come back after the Tampa Bay series, is what we're hearing.
After or for
maybe during, maybe after, somewhere in that range, though, of 2 or 3 days. Jordan Romano is coming back, so another boost for the bullpen. The bullpen's been playing pretty nice so far.
Julian Merriweather back.
Yeah, he could be. You know, a couple of names coming back would be nice. Nate Pearson is also apparently close to getting back as a closer, maybe. We'll see. I think I've buried that argument for now. I'll bring it back up at one day, I'm sure. But the one that we wanted to mention quickly as well was that it sounds like the Blue Jays are still continuing with their plans to go to Buffalo, which it sounded at one point like they weren't going to go to Buffalo, but they're going to go to Buffalo at the end of May. Again, they weren't sure what they were going to do, but it sounds like at the end of May or so, they're going to be going there. So
to be determined.
To be determined. I think there's still some finalizations or plans to be finalized. But the last one before we go to our break is that the Yankees are in last place in the AL, the entire AL. You threw it somewhere.
Yeah.
Now this is the first time. The first time that this has happened, where the Yankees have been in last place. I don't know what the stipulations of this are, but since the 80s or something. So
87.
You love to see it.
You love to see it.
Now I know it's super early, but that was where I mean, like, what's the stipulations on this? Because they've only played 15 games, and we're already like, hey, they're in last place for the first time ever since the 80s.
They are the Leaf fans of baseball. It's what they are, Clark.
No, I get it.
See it.
I'm gonna call out Yankees fans any
Jerseys
chance I can
on the
get.
ice after a tough start.
I'm just wondering what the stipulations behind this this clarification is. That's all I'm wondering. But that was the Bluebird Block. Thank you for checking that out. And of course, it's brought to you by our friends at RBI. You can see it in the logo up here. I pointed right that time. I pointed correctly. RBI Baseball in Regina. Are you looking for a way to improve your skills on the baseball diamond? Are your kids in need of some training, skill building, private coaching, and more? Check out RBI Baseball training and softball training facilities today. They're just east of Regina. They're Southern Saskatchewan's premier baseball training and softball training facility. Check out their Facebook, Instagram, or website today and get to work. We're going to head to a break. We're going to come back and just chat for a few minutes before the end of the show. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Peterson Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Everyday hoop life. Every day.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of time. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
All right, we're back for our fourth and final segment of the night. We're going to wrap a few things up and say good night to you. Just a couple of comments before we get into a couple hockey topics. My dad, Rod Monroe, is saying,
dad.
yeah, your adopted father. Do you think it would benefit... Oh, no, sorry, this is Robin. I was reading it wrong. Robin Wildy. Do you think it would benefit Kirk to play some AAA ball? Me and Max kind of agreed. You know, he's still working some things out, but he's doing it, responsibly up in the major leagues. I don't think it would benefit him a ton right now because he's getting some good playing time.
Well, are AAA leagues underway? I haven't heard a
I don't think so. So I think right now the best option is for him to be right where he is.
Playing, yeah.
He's getting some DH time. He's getting some catching time. He's working on some stuff. Now, Adam Schultz is saying, did you guys see the Matthews and Marner video for Marlowe featuring a lot of Joe Thornton? Yeah, that was hilarious. Classic Joe Thornton. Kind of that old school hockey vibe kind of feel to that one, you know, with the naked guy walking around in the background. The old, naked old guy kind of thing.
With a big beard.
So that was funny. That was great.
You know, he's shaved, right?
No, he's got it back.
He's got his back.
Yeah, he did shave.
He grew that quick.
Like, he's got a bigger beard than you, and he grew that within a hockey season. Like,
well, he's also in his 40s. So.
Yeah, well, there is that. He's a big bearded bushman.
Your Leafs just have to be better than me. I know, Clark.
I know.
In everything.
Thoughts on getting more offense from the catching position? I think, again, I can't remember if it was Barry Davis or Greg Zahn, but I think it was Barry.
I think it was Zahny.
Basically, the thought was, when you have a lineup like the Jays have, any offense from the catching position whatsoever is a cherry on top, essentially. So I'm with that. I'm with that kind of mentality where, it'd be great, but it's kind of like you have 8 other guys to do that.
Nope, they should have.
So don't worry about it too much.
They should have spent $200 million and signed JT Realmuto.
I agree.
I disagree with you, Clark.
I agree with that mentality.
No, I like Captain Kirk, and Danny's great defensively. Just can't get it with the bat.
Colin McAnulty, you can watch the Jays in 30, Clark, but you missed the strategy of the game. I know, I'm a baseball player. I get that. I'm just saying I don't have time to watch every baseball game every day. Max does because he doesn't have 2 kids.
I have 3 cats.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same thing.
I have 2 cats too, so I'm still leading.
Oh my goodness!
I'm still
Don't you
right
have
up
a dog
there.
too?
Yep.
Oh geez,
We got a few
That's
things.
a full house.
A lot of stuff going on. But we mentioned Patrick Marleau. Huge shout out. And there's already an argument online, and it's ridiculous, that Patrick Marleau isn't as good as some of the other guys in the league. And it's like,
Why does that always come up when a milestone is reached?
and do you know who it was? Guess who it was? Did you see?
Damian Cox?
His buddy.
From the Sun. Oh
Yeah.
my, Steve Simmons.
Yeah.
Had to. Yeah.
Had to be, right?
Had to be
That's
Steve
the best part about it,
friggin'
is that
Simmons.
we're at a point now in hockey media where when something comes out that's preposterous, you're like, well, it's one of three guys. And it was Steve Simmons. And
World
he comes
needs
out.
all kinds, I guess, Clark.
He said something along the lines of that Gordie Howe played more games than the WHA and that this isn't the real record. That, Hart trophies. And then he went through Gretzky's Hart trophies mixed with Howe's, mixed with all the other. Hold on. And he said Marleau, he finished 9th once for voting.
Nobody said that this was a competition
No.
about Patrick Marleau being among the best of all time in terms of points, production. It's about the fact that he's played more NHL games than any other human being on Earth. And for us in Saskatchewan, Aneroid, Saskatchewan, let's be proud, people. We got Gordie Howe, Patty Marleau.
Yeah.
And these guys, this Toronto media.
They just want to always get a jab in there. I get it. Hey, listen, that's the whole problem. But, Rod Peterson made a great point on the show today. Between Aneroid and Gordie Howe's hometown, which is, it's not Saskatoon, but he's from the Saskatoon area. But what's his actual hometown?
Who's that? Gordie Howe?
Gordie.
It's not Davidson.
No. It's a town around Saskatoon.
We'll have to look it up.
Somebody in the comments will know.
Somebody will know.
I feel like I'm going to feel stupid when somebody tells me what it is.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well,
but he said between the two towns, the population's like 100, and two of the guys are the all-time leading games played people in the entire hockey world. So massive.
Steve Simmons can't focus on that. He's got to be up there for goals and assists with Gordie Howe and Wayne Gretzky.
That's what I mean. So, but massive shout out to Patty Marleau. He's a classic. He's a pure pro, and he's one of those guys. I think it was Ryan Whitney was actually boasting about Saskatchewan players on Spit and Chicklets. I think it was either this morning or yesterday. I'm sure it was yesterday. I saw it this morning. And basically he said, like, Saskatchewan guys in the NHL are the most low maintenance lunchbox guys, and they just go to work. They don't complain about nothing. They're not divas like a lot of these other guys. They just go to work, they do their job, and they go home. And that's what Patty Marleau is. And shout out to him.
And made a lot of money doing it.
Well, sure. Yeah, he's had a good career. But we're going to go to a couple other topics here. Again, maybe just go around the league really quick. From Floral, Saskatchewan, Gordie Howe.
Floral. God, I don't feel that stupid.
I couldn't have told you that.
I don't feel that stupid,
No,
actually.
I was thinking it was going to be like a Rose Town or like one of those types of cities. Yeah, our dad had it. And Robin. Our uncle.
Robin had it.
Our Uncle Robin.
Uncle Robin and Dad Rod.
The Bruins they beat the Sabres today already? How did that finish already? I guess it's I guess time zones.
8:32. There's some games that finish
the
up.
Islanders romped the Rangers 6-1. The Panthers beat the Blue Jackets 5-1. You're welcome for that one. You need the Blue Jackets to keep losing,
Who
right?
cares? They're in
Are they too
last.
far down?
They're in dead last. They're
Okay,
not
the
going
Hurricanes
anywhere.
beat the Lightning 4-1. The Penguins.
Curtis Lazar with an assist. Remember when I said he'd contribute, Clark?
No, he's not. Oh, look at this. Toronto John Tavares.
On the power play.
On the power play?
Oh, my goodness.
On the power play. I need to make more videos bashing Leaf players specifically. I think this is a new business of mine.
Look at that. PPG. Player not available. Oh, great job, TSN.
John Tavares ties up the game 2-2. The Kings are up on the Ducks right now. The Stars are up on the Red Wings. The Stars are up on the Red Wings. Robin Wildy wants to know, Max. We have to give our fans what they want. The Stars are winning over the Red Wings. Sorry. Wait, hold on. Sorry, Darnell. Where is he? Darnell's a big Red Wings fan. So, Robin, you got the upper hand on Darnell tonight. And listen to this one. The Penguins beat the New Jersey Devils 7-6.
What a weird one. Hey, that's 1980s hockey score
known?
right there.
Uncle Robin, he loves it.
Are we going to get into our loser point debate?
Yes. You know what? Okay, so we have a couple things.
Robin, I got some thoughts.
I just want to skim over a couple of things. The Leafs goaltending woes. I'm skimming over this. People are all over Jack Campbell right now. Please stop. David Riddick just got there. He's just getting to know his teammates. This is his second game third game, I guess, third appearance he's made tonight, and he's doing pretty good from what I've heard. So let's get off the Leafs goaltenders, please, for a change. That'll be great.
Clark, Twitter would just not even be a place though if you can't bash Leafs goaltending.
Well, I know. They
be
wouldn't
so-
have. They wouldn't have a business
it'd
model.
be so empty.
They wouldn't have a business model. The Flames are making a push. We kind of talked about that already, so let's skip over that one because it's probably not going to happen.
No.
We'll get a lot of Flames talk in the offseason because I think there's going to be some changes.
There'll be a team to watch.
That'll be
yeah.
fun. I wanted to talk about this, but again, this is probably for another show. But the Seattle draft is catching my attention right now, and I did a mock Seattle draft on our good friends at capfriendly.com today, and I was wildly surprised because
You
I
can
was
actually be Ron Francis on there.
you can. I was wildly surprised because I was going through teams and I'm like, this guy doesn't have, like, you know how you have to protect guys with no movement clauses? No trade clauses aren't included in that. It's only no move clauses. So
Modifieds or full no trades?
It's only no move clauses are the only ones that you have to protect
No
in the Seattle
move
draft.
or no trade?
Move.
No
trade,
move, yeah.
you can put them on. No trades, you can put them on.
No
or you can
move
expose them,
clauses.
I should say. So guys like
Gotcha.
Matt Dumba has a no trade clause. He's available to be selected.
Right.
So I was going through all these teams and I was like, actually, there's some decent players in this.
Yeah.
Like Mikhail Backlund and Mark Giordano from Calgary were two. Like Calgary's going to lose a good player. There's a few guys that I was just like, I think I got Duchesne and Johansson were both available for pick.
Well, I really hope we don't
from
have
Nashville.
to give anything up. I hope that Seattle looks at those guys, say, hey, we're going to get a marketable player. It's going to help us get to the cap floor.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, I think we might be giving up a second to get Seattle to take it, maybe a first.
Brady Shea was a guy from Carolina.
Brady Shea.
There was quite a few teams where they've acquired defensemen for the last couple of years, and they have too many now, and they won't be able to protect them all. And it was interesting. A couple goalies that were pretty good. Jake Allen was going to be one of them. Anton Khudobin is going to be available because Ben Bishop has to be protected.
Right? Because he has a full no move.
No move clause.
Wow, hey?
So there's going to be some wrinkles. So we're going to do I think we're going to do one show at one point. Seattle. Like we're just going to do
Yeah, we'll do an-
one
we'll do an
SquadCast is going to be an
expansion feature.
entire Seattle. We'll draft a full team on
Yep.
Cap Friendly. We'll do a whole bunch of stuff.
I like
it's going to be fun. So one day, stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll have Everett Fitzhugh on. He's the voice of the Kraken.
Fantastic.
Maybe we'll do that, and we'll have just a
Fantastic.
full Seattle show.
Can you buy the jerseys yet?
I think so.
'Cause-
I have a shirt in the back room.
Because as far as expansion jerseys go,
You don't mind them, hey? We might have to invest in one
Maybe-
as a
maybe cool hockey
That leads
if
us,
you
yeah,
guys,
that leads us to
wanna-
another question. I think we're going to be doing some hockey jersey giveaways.
yeah,
in the next
especially
little
if
while.
that company that
Yeah.
is going to be doing some interesting stuff. So
Speaking
we'll
of
see.
contests, I shouldn't have said that. We do have a teaser, and we'll kind of announce it at the end of the show. So stay tuned. We got a couple more minutes here, but we are wrapping up. But the point system, NHL point system.
Yeah.
Now you're getting a little PO'd. Because that's to put it lightly, because the Robin Wildy's Dallas Stars are catching up to you very rapidly in the Central Division standings as a Predators fan, and that's largely because they have 12 overtime losses, Max. They've won 3 in a row, though, the Stars. The Predators have won 1 in a row. They're 6-4-0 in their last 10, the Preds. But the Stars have 12 overtime losses this year, and you're a little mad that that's giving them a chance to make the playoffs. And I would agree with you, but I'm going to let you go ahead and have your little minute rant here. Go hard.
I will preface
Keep
this,
it to a minute if you can.
I will preface this by saying that I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because the Predators have benefited from some overtime losses in the past. Is what it is. Every team does. But I look at it this year, and there is a glaring disparity between the Nashville Predators and the Dallas Stars. And the Dallas Stars have 3 games in hand, and that also scares me because they're a team that's on the rise. They've got some really good players. Jason Robertson's had a great rookie year. Tyler
Yeah, he
Seguin's
has.
coming back. When's Ben Bishop coming back? Is he coming back?
I don't know
We
about
don't
Ben
necessarily
Bishop.
know. Either way, Dallas is hot on our heels, and they're in the middle of a 4-game series against the Detroit Red Wings in this very, very crucial part of the schedule. If you look at the standings, the Nashville Predators have 25 wins on a run of 14-6. They've had to claw and scratch and fight to get these wins and stay in it. Dallas, after tonight, will have 19 wins.
Yeah.
6-win disparity, and they will be within 1 point of us.
Yeah.
We've also beat them 5 times in overtime. I don't understand how that team is possibly going to get a playoffs. And now, again, we still got games to finish up here, so maybe Dallas ends the season with more wins. I digress. If Nashville ends the season with 6 or 7 or 8 more actual wins than the Dallas Stars, and they have all these overtime losses and the points accumulate, I'm going to be a little chapped. That's
So
what
the
my point is.
solution is to go to the 3-2-1 point system, and that would be 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime win, 1 point for an overtime loss, and 0 points for an actual loss.
Sold.
And then that way, if you get wins, they're more heavily weighted. Overtime wins are not as heavily weighted, and overtime losses are as they are currently, but you still get a point for getting to overtime. I think that's more than fair. I don't know why there's such a pushback on changing it to that. They should have done it at the last CBA argument, which was back in the lockout in 20 whatever it was, 13 or whatever year. So
They had the chance to rectify that because they just came up with a new deal ahead of the bubble, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know
or
if
a
that
memorandum of understanding.
Yeah, I don't know if that
deal
was like
gonna be
top of
reached.
mind though. I think there was other things they needed to figure out in that specific
should have
one.
figured it out then,
But
too.
with the new TV deal coming in, I don't know if what the CBA. I think the CBA is on for a couple more years. But
I'd
I think
also
there's
love to see some teams finish the season with like 180 points. That'd be awesome.
that'd be cool.
60 wins, 180
50,
points.
50 wins, 10 overtime wins,
That'd
or
be pretty
whatever. I don't know.
sick.
Who knows? But that will be fun. But
agree.
anyways, that's kind of the show for tonight, everybody. Where I want to get under the 8:45 because that's usually the over/under for the boys in the back. So,
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow on the Rod Peterson Show, we got Winnipeg sports talk host Andrew Hustler Patterson, and we're going down to Colorado talking to Adrian Dater about the Avalanche.
Ooh, that's a fun team to talk
so
about right now.
They are hot, and we
But-
all kind of knew they would be.
A
So
bit of COVID issues. Mikko Rantanen's now on the COVID
I
list.
saw that. So we'll get into that tomorrow on the Rod Peterson Show. Next week on the SquadCast, it's NFL Draft Week. We're going to have an NFL Draft preview. I can't tell you who it is yet, but we're going to have a nice guest who may or may not have been on the show before.
It's kind of a superstition for us not to reveal the guest the week before, even though we have a real good idea.
Max, would you say you're superstitious?
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Max just really wanted to show off his shirt.
It's an incredible shirt.
It's a good shirt.
It's an incredible shirt.
Michael Scott, yeah, it's a good shirt.
Good stuff. Good stuff
Great
all
shirt,
around.
great shirt. But hey, from the basement of the bunker, what do you want to say something? Oh, yes.
Come on, man.
So, for everybody watching, I know that we don't have everybody who was watching earlier in the show, but we do have some of our hardcore stragglers.
Fantastic.
So, I think that's what we should call the people who are here at the end of the show, the
Hardcore stragglers come up with a
stragglers.
t-shirt?
The stragglers. So, like Robin Wildy will get you a shirt that says, I'm a straggler, or something like that.
I'm a squad strangler. Oh, or straggler.
No, we're not talking Scranton Strangler here.
We're not talking Scranton. I got the office brain now.
So, we might have to put together a shirt for some people.
The squad straggler.
But what we're doing, starting, I think we're doing it tomorrow. Are we launching it tomorrow?
Well,
This week.
We'll likely launch it tomorrow, dependent on some graphic design timeline.
We're going to
requirements.
launch a contest on mostly Facebook, but I think we're going to kind of spread it out a little. And we're going to give away a customized baby blue Blue Jays jersey and matching hat. Ooh, we got the sound effect. Thank you, Jordan.
on field. Legit.
Yeah, so we're doing this with partnerships with Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. Shout out to Rockstar as a part of, and I guess I'm just going to launch it now, a monthly giveaway series. So we're going to do something along these lines once a month with Rockstar. And for this specific one, and maybe in the future as well, Ultimate Fan Zone and Moose Jaw is going to be providing the jersey and customization for you as well. So if you want to get a baby blue jersey with Guerrero on it, or with Nate Pearson on it, or Ryu,
or Marcus Stroman.
or who your last
Whatever
name,
you want.
your daughter's name, who knows? But we're gonna get a customized jersey. We're gonna be giving it away, basically like a like, share, comment type of contest on our Facebook page very soon. So stay tuned for that, and we're gonna be blowing that up.
And I think just one more thing to preface. Don't worry, guys. You guys give us the details. Clark and I will go out and have a nice business lunch, get it customized for you. We'll bring it back to town.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about a thing. We're just going to set you guys up with an awesome Blue Jays fan pack.
Yeah.
And thank you for being awesome fans of the SquadCast.
I agree. So again, this is part one of hopefully 7-8 month giveaway series.
As long as Rockstar's on board, baby.
Rockstar, baby. Our relatives excluded, Max.
Oh, well.
As long as they enter the contest, they're in.
Hey, if you meet the criteria, you're in. It's going to be a randomizer. We do things legit here. There's no tomfoolery going on here. So yes, Dad Monroe, you will certainly be able to, as long as you, I guess, meet all the entry requirements.
No shenaniganery
We'll
going on here.
Good word.
But hey, from the basement of the bunker, we got to get under the 8:45 time.
That's right.
From the basement of the bunker, we're signing off. I'm producer Clark. Mad Max, good to have you back in the building, buddy.
Thank you very much, Clark. It's fantastic to be back.
It's easier to do it when the show when you're here and not over video chat. It's just there's a different vibe to it.
Way better vibe.
Director Jordan and producer Alan are in the back room. Are they going to give us a woo?
Hey,
There they are.
hey.
They're there. They're still awake. plus our friends at Rockstar, IKS Media, Vigor Lifestyles, Hoop Life Basketball, and RBI Baseball Training. We'll see you next week. I don't have a lyric. You forgot.
Knew it.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. See you next week.
Take care, everybody.